Hey girls, happy day 2 of our motivation challenge. Today is the day that we really start getting in there, digging deep and making things happen. So yesterday I kind of broke down what's going to be going on through the challenge, got you started with a few little things, and we really started talking about self-esteem. And it is such an important part of what we're doing because truly self-esteem is at the root of how we get motivated and how we stay motivated. And the number one thing I need you to know right now is that you are worth it. Whatever it is, whatever your goals are, whatever you can imagine being, becoming, doing, you are worth whatever it takes to get there, and you are worthy of feeling that confidence, that high self-esteem, and you deserve to feel it. So our focus today is going to be on talking about self-esteem, what it is, how we get it, and that's really going to help build from there. So first of all, self-esteem is truly just our confidence in our own abilities. Yes. You need to have confidence in your abilities to do whatever it is you want to do. And our opinion of ourselves and our valued self-worth, how we value ourselves. And that's pretty deep, you guys. I think that most of us would be I like myself, I value myself. But there's a lot of things and actions that we do that would show otherwise. So when we don't take care of our body, when we don't nourish it with healthy foods, when we don't move our body, when we're not putting ourselves and our desires and our needs first sometimes, which is it's not selfish, sometimes it's just necessary, that kind of shows that we don't maybe have the confidence that we deserve to have. And I talked about this yesterday, but it really all stems from those negative self-thoughts. And a lot of times you don't even realize that you have them. You don't until you start really looking for them and recognizing them. And that's hard to do, but that's what we're going to kind of do today. So I want you to think about what those negative self-thoughts are, what those reoccurring themes in your life have been, whether they've been told you by someone in your family, friends, peers, teachers, maybe you're not smart enough, you're not strong enough, you're not skinny enough. Think about what those things are, and I want you to write them down. And it's hard to write down, but I want you to do it right now. Write them down. It's important that we recognize those thoughts so that we can change the narrative. We can change the story. That's the coolest thing about this, you guys. All of those thoughts that you might have that are negative or those feelings that you have, they can be changed because they're learned. We've learned those behaviors. We've learned those thoughts throughout our life. It doesn't mean it's easy to change. It doesn't mean just because you recognize them, you'll automatically change them. But if you take the time and you go through the process, you will be able to because they're just learned behaviors and learned beliefs that we can recreate and make into new positive ones. This is something that I did not realize until I forced myself to realize it. But my entire life, I felt like I struggled with, I was confident but struggled with confidence in some way. I know that sounds strange, but I always felt like I had enough confidence to try things. It never really hindered me. I had a lot of support from my family. It never hindered me from trying things, but I had constant self-doubt, and I'm not totally sure still where that came from, if it's innate within me or whatever, but I always had this self-doubt that I wasn't going to be good enough, and I wasn't going to do it well enough, and I wouldn't succeed, and that was really hard because when I didn't, I was like, see, I knew it. And that continues that narrative, that negative narrative in your mind, and it's so strange how much those thoughts can control our actions and our behaviors and our ability to really shine and be true to ourselves and our desires. And that's so important to do. And you have to know that you are so worth doing that. You're worth going through sometimes those uncomfortable moments to make those changes happen, to do the things you want. And sometimes you just have to fake it till you make it. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but it's true. Sometimes you just have to be like, you know what? I got this. I'm strong. I'm confident. I can totally do it, and then do it. And the more you tell yourself that, the more you're recreating the narrative, the more you're now infusing your mind with positive self-thoughts and pushing out those negative stories that you've told yourself for so long that you can't, that you're not worth it, and you're filling it up with new good stuff. So it's okay to fake it till you make it sometimes, because the more you do that, the more you'll truly actually start to believe it, and the more you'll have courage to go out and try new things. And when you do that and you actually do well at it, you prove to yourself that you are worth it and that you can do it and you are strong enough. So it is totally okay to do that sometimes. Okay, so for today's journaling, I want you to write down any of those negative self-thoughts that you've had, those stories you've told yourself through the years over and over again. It can be as simple as, quote, I'm not worthy. If you've told yourself you're not worthy, or you're not worth it, or you're not strong enough, or you're not smart enough, write that down. I want you to recognize that. That is step number one. And tomorrow, we're going to be doing things to help work through that. But you got to recognize it first. And then today, I want you, every single time you look in the mirror, so every time you go to the bathroom, when you're doing your makeup, rear view mirror in your car, check, I want you to look straight at yourself. And even if it is hard to say, because I know it can be hard sometimes, when you have told yourself all these negative things, it's hard to just flip the switch and be like, I'm great. But you got to. So I want you to look at yourself and tell yourself you are worthy. Look in the mirror and say, I am worthy. Tell yourself that 3 times every time you look in the mirror. You can say it out loud. You can say it in your mind. But I want you to say that all day today so that you can start to truly ingrain in you the acknowledgement that you are worthy.